partners, Dime Bank. I'm so excited to have you here today. Please welcome back Dee Sullivan. She's our Vice President of Executive Administration and the Foundation Director. And our new VIP guest here, Kyle Zingler. Did I say that okay?
Yes.
All right, I'm glad I did that. He's the founder and Chief Operating Officer for Gentle Love Connections. Well, hello, you two.
Hi, Renee. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. You're like, you came in here and you're like, what is happening? We're dancing. There's dogs. There's people. There's pets. And Dee, who did you bring me? I mean, I think you might be the youngest business leader I've ever met.
He's an amazing young man.
Okay. Well, let's talk about what you do with Gentle Love. Tell me about it.
Sure. Yeah. So I started Gentle Love when I was then a sophomore at Manchester High School.
Wow.
In April of 2020, hosted my first drive on June 11th, 2020, collected over 17,000 diapers, filled up the back of a U-Haul truck.
Oh my gosh.
Which we then, brought over to our friends over at Mac Charities in Manchester. And since then, over the past now almost 5 years, it has grown into a full-scale nonprofit organization. We just had our first car seat event this past Sunday over at Northwest Park. We provided close to 34 seats to families in need.
Oh my gosh.
So it has grown, tenfold since its humble beginnings, and it has been quite a journey to witness.
You're quite a young man. What was the inspiration behind this?
Yeah, so my mother, she works for Vernon Public Schools as their director for Family, School, and Community Partnerships. And during the middle of COVID, she came to me one day and was telling me about how she spent 4 hours on a phone trying to track down diapers for a family involved in a domestic violence incident. And she turned to me and said, diapers are a huge need in our community. Why don't you start something? So I took her word for it. And since then, over 500,000 diapers distributed within the communities of Manchester, East Hartford, and Vernon, Connecticut.
This kid, right? What are you doing with your day today, right? Get up and do something good. And Dee, talk a little bit about, Diamond, I love our partnership. And I know that you're obviously a bank, but we're here talking about all the good you do in the community. Remind people about that and your footprint into sharing stories like this.
Yeah, so Dime is traditionally a southeastern Connecticut bank. We've been there for over 150 years. In 2020, we expanded into the Manchester and Glastonbury markets. The following year, we opened a branch in Vernon, and we have since expanded our market to include East Hartford and Marlborough. And we work with many organizations like Kyle's. Kyle was one of the first from Manchester to reach out to us, and I think we've been funding his grant request ever since.
And a little bit about Dime Bank, because you've been on the show multiple times now. I'm a part of the family, right? I love everyone at Dime Bank, and this is true story. But remind our audience what makes Dime Bank a little different than other financial institutions.
So Dime has remained a mutual savings bank. That is certainly in our mission and our strategic plan. So many banks now, you hear of all these mergers and acquisitions. Dime is dedicated to remaining a mutual bank, community bank, serving our communities. It allows us to do so much more.
Yeah. Well, you two are inspiring. We're going to take a quick break for 1 second because we're going to tell you about our SK Lavery CT.